Howdy, I'm Anna with Always Right, and welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas. It is time. Yes, I know, I hate it too. Goal setting, let's talk about them. This is gonna be my goals for 2024. There's gonna be personal reading, writing, and channel goals. And I think I'll just go through the channel goals first because it's like the shortest section. For channel goals, I want to upload to this channel at least once a month. I know that sounds really silly, like that should be achievable, but I don't like posting videos where like nothing happens in them. 12 Days of Christmas has definitely been like a big stretch for me, like trying to come up with 12 different video ideas. Yeah, this channel really brings me joy. This is fun for me. This is not intended at all to be like money making or anything like that. This is just a chance for me to kind of take things slow, breathe in and out, relax, and go from there. So I want to continue doing that. I want to continue doing at least monthly videos. And with my other goals I have outlined, I think that's pretty achievable. Next up for my channel goals is I want to read and review more writing craft books. I have like half a shelf in there that's just writing craft books that I have never read. Don't get me wrong, there's quite a few craft books that I have read, but there's a few that have been like sitting there eyeing me as I'm eyeing it, looking at her, looking at me, you know, kind of moment. And I think it's time that I finally read them. One second, the mailman's here. So I need to read them. Yeah, especially books like Story Genius and like The Plot Thickens. I really want to read those. Also, Save the Cat now has a YA novel kind of option, which I thought was a hot take. That was super, super interesting. Now on to personal goals. We're blazing through them. I'm trying not to keep you here too long, or not to keep myself here too long. I want to have 200 listings live on Etsy at one point. If you don't know, I have a vintage store Etsy. It is my pride, it is my joy. It's a hobby. I don't do it with the intent of like making lots of money. It literally pays for like my gas bill and my internet bill and like a week or two of groceries. So yeah, it's just something fun that keeps me active, and I've learned a lot of skills from doing my vintage Etsy store. Next on my goals, and this is gonna happen, this is more like just so I can check it off my list, is to finish and move into my new house. So right now I don't really have a floor, like worse than it was during the house tour video I did back in like October, November. I literally have like a trench going through my hall. They're redoing the plumbing for my house. That was a very, very fun discovery, but I'm getting that done, and I will be moving in within the first quarter this year because good God, I'm tired of having to like maintain these two houses. Next on my personal goals is to work on my mental health. My job, especially like the last year, really, really drained me. It really just basically defeated me. Like my mental health, like I said in that like first 12 Days of Christmas vlog, whatever, my mental health just totally tanked because of things that were going on at work. That is no longer a problem for me, so I'm wanting to work on my mental health. I'm actively working on it, but I really want to start doing things again that I like to do. When I basically in the last year gave up gardening, and gardening was like my jam. It absolutely made me happy. I got to get outside. The last year or two, I haven't gardened at all, and it kind of shows with my mental health. So I want to get back into doing things that I want to do. And that includes like this YouTube channel. That's another example of something that fell off the cart when things got bumpy at work. Those are all I really have. So let's move on to the reading goals real quick. My reading goal this year is light for me. I think it's the lowest goal I've set like since I started tracking my reading goals, and that is 30 books this year. That's like really low for me. That's about 2.5 books a month. One of the main reasons I'm lowering it from like 45, 44 that I did in 2023 to just 30 in 2024 is because I'm hoping to spend more time writing. I want to read good books. I want to read books that I already own. Now, I'm not going to be doing like that crazy reading exclusively from my library trend. There will probably be a book or two, or not like 5 or 6 this next year, that I will borrow from the library, whether that's like an ebook or like an audiobook. I'm gonna be a little pickier on what I read this year. It's not so much like aiming for a goal, it's more of just reading stuff that I like and stuff that I already have. If you saw my Barnes & Noble book haul, you know that I have a lot of options for reading. I have pretty much a book for any mood, any season, and I'm ready for it. On top of wanting to read what I own, I also want to read physically, like with my little fisties. Like, you know, either paperback, hardback. I really want to read 20 books this year. So that will get through, hopefully, 20 books that I own. And my last kind of reading goal is I want to read books that I think would make good comp titles for my books that I'm writing. And speaking of writing, the writing goals for the year 2024, and this really hurts me because it's a big goal. I want to write and complete four different drafts. And I want at least 2 of those 4 to be first drafts. I'm able to rationalize it out and I'm like, well, that's just basically 1 book a quarter. That's 1 completed draft every 3 months. And this is like the most aggressive goal I've set to date. Like, I know I've set goals before where like, I'm gonna finish Feathers and do all the drafts and stuff. Like this one, I'm actually quantifying exactly what my goal is. And that's super scary because that means essentially I will be writing and completing 2 books this year. I think it's very, very doable, but oh, it's intimidating. It's kind of nerve-wracking. My next goal is to complete my outlines for these 2 series I have had plaguing my brain. One of them is the series that I'm writing during the 12 Days of Christmas. I want to flesh out all 3 books in that series and just outline it so that I can have a better chance of weaving in some good, accurate, to be specific, accurate foreshadowing in the first draft of my first book. Also, that'll make it easier for me when it comes to the second draft of that book. The other series is just kind of like a contemporary fiction series, and I've been mapping it out the last month or so. And so I just need to sit down with myself and fully outline what event goes where, because this series is like a 4 to 6 book series. My next writing goal is I want to begin querying seriously. Spoilers for the 12 Days of Christmas, I do have a blog where I queried Feathers. Oh God, yeah, I did. I queried it, but I want to seriously query Agents. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the contemporary series. I don't know if that's going to be like the fantasy series I'm writing right now. So we will have to see. I'm leaning more towards that fantasy series, if I'm being honest with you. My last writing goal, and this is kind of like the granddaddy of all writing goals for me, I want to be published this next year. And I consider getting signed with a publisher as being published, if that makes sense. If for some reason that doesn't happen, I have a few stories that should be rather easy and quick to come together to self-publish. Those are my goals. Let me know down in the comments below what some of your goals are. What's your reading goals? What are you trying to achieve writing-wise? And as always, thank you all so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, and let's get writing. Bye. Okay. So this did actually used to line up with that buffet, but I guess over time for some reason, like my dining room table has shifted a good like foot. This is where it used to be. Oops,